the topic for today, we'll continue to speak about giant gentleness, which is the topic of the month. And and um and the topic for this day, for today, for this Sunday, is nurturing love. Okay, nurturing love. And we want to invite you to this conversation, to this inspirational talk that I have prepared for you, that I have been inspired to prepare for you. And so as we gather today, I really want you to explore and to reflect on the intricacies of relationships, right? Relationships are beautiful, but also can be challenging at times. So let us contemplate the profound reality that individuals are intricate and we're diverse. We diverse beings. You know, we have our own ways of being, and it's not good or bad. It's just what it is. But even though, right, what we want to do is embrace our imperfections with love and tenderness, right? We want to embrace each other. And when we embrace each other, then we can really come from that place of knowing that all is well. No matter what, all is well. Ernest Holmes, in the Science of Mind book on page 365, Science of Mind, page 61, he reminds us that none of us is as perfect. Okay, remember, none of us is as perfect. When you remember that none of us is as perfect, then you can when we remember that none of one is perfect, yet because we are part of the Spirit in that expression of God, we ought to be perfect. So the challenge to each one of us is to be great enough to rise in love, and to remember that with understanding and compassion. So we all, each one of us, there's not one of us that have not experienced moments of pure connection and understanding, where kindness and love flows with ease and grace. However, we also have encountered times when individuals show unpredictable behavior and are quick to judge. We're judged immediately. Each one of them have strong opinions about whatever situation is going on, and we clash, right? We clash, and what we do at that moment is very important, because we can choose to join in that confusion, in that disagreement. But we can also rise and let others have their own opinions. Let others have their own way of looking at the situations. And you, I'm speaking to you, are listening to me, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to defend. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to change yourself, because at the end of the day, it's their opinion. And that's why it's so important that you and me know who you are and whose you are. Because when you know who you are, regardless of what other things or what others' opinions or judgment, you stick to who you are. And you feel that you don't need to defend yourself. And you can allow others to be themselves, and you can allow others to have their own opinions, to own their own opinions, and be in that space of knowing that it's not good or bad. It's what it is, and it's okay. So it's very important that we do that, because what I know is that when we can allow others to have their own opinions, we can be in the place of love, and we can also not allow anything to have a discord in our relationships, and we can see each other deeper than what is being said, that we can see out of the judgment that is happening in the present moment. Because what happened is that everyone has their own perspective of whatever topic is being discussed of whatever is happening in the family, in the community, in the country, in the world. Each one of us hold our own opinions. And if we want to nurture love, we have to stay in love. We must stay in love, and we must give others the opportunity to have their own opinions. Okay. And it doesn't mean that they are wrong or that you are wrong. It just means that's what it is. Okay. And we're not here to change anyone. It took me some time to understand that I'm not here to change anyone, not even my own children. I must allow them to be themselves. I must allow them to have their own perspective, to make their own choices, trusting in God that they too are in their own journey. And they too know the truth within them, even if they're not aware of it at the moment. Okay. Ernest Holmes also says in Practical Wisdom, page 61, he reminds us that compassion and caring are the ties that binds us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. Compassion is the most gentle of all human virtues, for it is the outpouring of divine givingness through all. What does compassion mean? It means that you can see them for who they are, and regardless of what they're doing, what they're saying, you still hold them in love. You still hold them in love. As long as no one touches you, harms you, let them be. Remove yourself from that situation. Also, that's another thing that you can do. You can remove yourself from certain circles, from certain communities. If you're not agreeing with it and it's not flowing with you, then you can remove yourself. Not a problem. Okay. So when we approach others with gentleness and compassion, we create a space for them to be authentic and to express themselves without fear of being judged or criticized. And what happens is that the more we practice this, the more we get that back. We can be ourselves. We can feel free to be ourselves, to have our own opinions. And you and me can be surrounded by people that allows us to be authentic and that do not judge us. And if they judge us, they don't say anything. They just keep it to themselves and they let us be us. So it is important, okay? It is important that we practice mirroring. That is called the mirroring exercise, right? You hold who you are, and as you get to do you, right? As you get to be yourself, your authentic self, your loving self, your compassionate self, others will do the same. That's what I know. Okay. And so that's when we can that's when we can create real, authentic relationships that can flourish, that can grow, because it's about nurturing relationship. When we nurture our relationships, whether it's with our children, our grandchildren, family members, in our communities, wherever we go, we have the opportunity to nurture relationships and to nurture that love, because it's something that we must do. We don't have to, but we must do, because when we nurture love, we get love. And then we can create a world where there's peace, harmony, love, gentleness, compassion, right? Because I believe that you are listening to me here right now. You are that. That's what you want to be like. That's what you want to create in the world. So it is important that when we approach others with compassion and with gentleness, we know that we are creating a world where people can be themselves and they don't have to fear. They don't have to fear being judged. They don't have to fear criticism. Okay. And this is a practice that we can do all the time. And it's very empowering. It's very empowering. So I invite you to give yourself the space, to be true to yourself. And as you do that, you're giving others the space to be themselves. You invite clarity, you invite wisdom, And there is wisdom in every interaction that you have with whoever, wherever you are. And that's what it is about. It's about you and me being agents of change, not about changing others. We change ourselves, because when we change ourselves and we decide and we make a choice to not judge and to accept others wherever they are in their journey, then that's the kind of love, of compassion and authenticity that we are spreading. And so more of that we get to experience. So and it's so important, right? Because that's what allows us to be vulnerable. When we feel safe, then we can allow ourselves to be vulnerable. People feel safe and they can be vulnerable. What a beautiful place where you and me can be vulnerable, knowing that I'm not going to be judged because I show up the way where I'm at in my journey. Because each one of us are in a different, we're in this path of spiritually and unfoldment, but each one of us is in our own journey, in our own personal journey. And to be compassionate about it, empathetic about it, such a beautiful thing to know that you can do that. James Dean says, only the gentle are ever really strong. Imagine, only the gentle are really strong. We don't need to force. We don't need to push. We don't need to pull. We don't have to make anyone do anything or say anything. We can let them be themselves and know that wherever they are, it's okay. And you can do the same thing. So as we continue to navigate the complexities of relationships that we have everywhere we go, starting from home, starting with the relationship with ourselves, because the most important relationship that you can have is the one that you have with yourself. And when I say your relationship with yourself, that means that you're having a relationship with the divine within you. That is the relationship, because that relationship that you have with the divinity of yourself, that is God within you, each one of us must have that relationship within ourselves. When we have that relationship within ourselves, then it's easier to go out into our homes with our children, our partners, our life partner, our husbands and wives, our co-workers, our business partners, anyone that we're collaborating with. Is easier. It's easier. Why? Because we have this relationship with ourselves. Okay. So let's be transformed. That transforms you and me when we do that, and when we embody being gentle with ourselves and constantly being compassionate, because this is an ever going, ongoing practice. This is not a one thing practice. This is an ongoing practice. This is something that you have to keep doing every single day, every single moment to moment, and then the day goes by. But this is how we do, because if we do that in every interaction that we have, just think about the beautiful connections that you and me can have. Just think of what we are cultivating. Are we really cultivating a sense of peace, a sense of harmony, a sense of love within our hearts and the hearts of others? And so everywhere you go, you're spreading that great vibe, and you are nurturing that vibe. You're nurturing that that way of being. So I invite you to walk in this path with me. Okay, I invite you to walk in this path where you are opening yourself to consciously nurture your relationships, where you build a space of openness, of vulnerability, a space where people feel understood. And again, you don't have to understand everyone, but at least you can listen. Sometimes we just need to listen, really listen, and be present with people. Okay, being present with people. Forget about the phone, forget about social media, forget about the noise, forget about everything. Just be present. Be present. Listen. When we do that, we get others to listen to us when we speak. What a beautiful thing. Most people are longing for someone to listen to them. As a holistic coach, I do a lot of that. Okay. And I said to myself, wow, people, when people come to my sessions, they talk. Most of the time they are speaking. And I said to myself, wow. And they have a husband, they have daughters, sons, cousins, but yet they come to my sessions and they're speaking because they know that I am present, I am listening to them. So imagine if each one of us do that on a daily basis. When someone speaks to us, we can really just listen to them. So as we conclude, remember that your individual practice makes a difference. I want you to understand that. It's so important that you understand that your practice, your own building of your own, nurturing of your own relationship with yourself, which is the God within you. You begin to embody the kindness, and that kindness is within you, so it's easier for you to give it to others. And so what happened is that now you are able to interconnect with others. You're able to connect with others. You're able to be compassionate, have a compassionate listening ear, not hearing, because a lot of us do a lot of hearing, but I invite you to do listening. Okay. And so what I know is that this allows each one of us to have an amazing life, because we're making a difference in others' life. We're making an impact on others' life. And what I know is that sometimes it can be tiresome and it can be challenging, because relationships do that too. But you know what I know is that those moments that are challenging are really moments for you and me to sit back, to pause, and to really look at the situation, to walk away from the situation. We don't have to react. We don't have to. We can be proactive and just pause. Not an easy practice sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment. But I promise you, if you consciously take that approach, you will see how much you avoid, how much drama you avoid. Okay, so practice that. And when we do that, we also help ourselves to connect, to interconnect. And when we interconnect and we acknowledge others' feelings and others, we listen to them, right? When we listen to them and we acknowledge them, this brings a greater impact in your relationships. That's what it does. It brings a greater impact in your relationships. I have another quote here that says, in Science of Mind, 365 Science of Mind, page 34, Ernest Holmes wrote, when we let the love that is within us go out to the God who is in all people, then we are loving God with all our hearts and with all our souls and mind, because we are recognizing that the spirit within us is the same spirit that we meet in others. This is loving our neighbors and ourselves. This quote really encompasses everything that I have said to you. Really, really. Okay. When we let love that is within us go out to the God who is in all people, then we are loving God with all our hearts and all our souls and mind. We are recognizing the God in others. It's just like saying namaste. When we say namaste, when we bow in front of others, we're saying, I see the God in you that is in me, the divine that is within me. I see it in you, because we are, God, the day that we can really know without a doubt that you and me are images of human God having a human experience. All the separation, all the different, regardless of the difference, regardless of the languages that we speak, regardless of how we are, what we do, what we don't do, how we see the world, the perspectives that we have, it's that God within you and me having an experience through you and me. The day that we understand that and that we can really see it, we will not have wars in the world. We have peace. We are definitely gonna be living in bliss. I would love to experience that kind of world. Honestly, I would love to. And so as loving, because what happened is that as you love others, you are loving yourself. So let us embrace the spirit within you with compassion, with love, generosity, kindness. Listen, listen to others with compassion, and let's cultivate, let's nurture love in the relationships, in all our relationships. That's what I would love for you to remember. If there's anything that I want you to remember from this short, inspire points that I have bring out to you, is that I want you to see relationships as sacred, see them sacred, and see others as God, regardless of how they are acting. I know that's hard. Believe you me, I know that's hard. I myself have a challenge with that, but I'm working on it. And I think that that's what it's about. It's about knowing that we're in this journey to remember that. And the more we remember that, the more we embrace others and let others be themselves. I believe that as long as someone doesn't come and touches you, doesn't physically harm you, you can release yourself from that room, leave that room. If the situation is just getting out of hand, you can leave that place. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to argue with that person. No need to be right. You know who you are. And you can keep and stay in what you think is best for you. And as long as you do that and you take care of yourself, I think that will be the best thing to do. So one thing that I would say to you is that there's an exercise as a community. I like to give you, if you're part of a community, whether it's in your family, this is a beautiful exercise to do in a family circle, in a community circle. You can go around. I suggest to put this song from Karen Jerker. The song is The Face of God, and I will play it at the end. That's the song that I'm gonna play at the end. And you gaze on each other's eyes. Okay, so the circle, let's say that it's 10 people, um, two people looking at each other. Okay, and then you go around the circle and then looking at different person, and then gazing at people's eyes, at that person's eye, but really gazing. That's a powerful exercise. I did it in 2012 at a retreat, a mantra retreat that I did in Costa Rica, and it touched me so much. It was the first time that I did that exercise, and oh my God, it was so beautiful. I really, by the time I finished, I was weeping, but in love. It was love. It was pure love. And the energy in that room was amazing. So if you are a leader of a community, if you are a parent of your home, and you can try this gazing at someone's eyes and just gazing at each other and gazing around, and just really seeing through your eyes. I remember they have a saying that said that the eyes are the gates of the spirit, where you can see the spirit of other. So I invite you to do that. All right, that will be my thing for you to do, as a on a community level. So now, with that being said, I invite you to join me with our affirmations. So I invite you to take a deep breath and repeat after me. It is so that love flows effortlessly through all my relationships. Take a deep breath. The next one. It is so that every connection I nurture is a beautiful expression of love in form. Take a deep breath. And the last one. It is so that today I attract and manifest love in all my interactions, enriching my relationship with kindness and compassion. Take a deep breath. And so it is, and now it is. And in that space of pure love, I invite you for this treatment. This treatment is a prayer of affirmative prayer, where we recognize that there's only one power. Then we unify ourselves with that power. Then we claim our truth. We give thanks. And then we release it. It's a 5-step prayer. And so I invite you to come with me and be in that space of love and remember who you are. Remember who others are. Remember that each one of us is an emanation of the divine love that runs through you and through me. As I know that there's only one, only one. And science scientifically has been proving that there's only energy, that we are surrounded and everything is energy. There's nothing other than energy. Everything is energy. Even though that our human eyes see differences, see separation, we're not actually separate because it's only one. The fact that science can speak about this. When I say spiritually, there's only one spirit, there's only one God, one love, that you and me are that love. You and me are that love. And so I am so filled with gratitude to remember that and to speak of this. And I claim that as we unify ourselves in this love, we begin to nourish, we begin to nurture that love, authentic relationships with everyone that comes in our path, that we forge loving relationship, compassionate acts, that everywhere we go, we nurture harmony. We allow others to be themselves, and we allow ourselves, we honor ourselves, our individuality. We honor everyone. No need to judge, no need to change anyone. Remembering that the only one that I'm here to change is thyself. And as I change myself, others change around me. It's a consciousness. We begin to shift the consciousness. I begin with my own consciousness. And as I do that with myself, I have the power to move, to have an effect on others' consciousness. And it's so good to know this truth about each one of us. I give thanks for this, knowing that you and me are having an amazing life experience, that everywhere we go, we experience love. We experience love in all the forms, in the forms of money, in the forms of health, in the forms of peace, peaceful relationship, harmonious relationships, harmonious workspace, collaboration, business opportunities, whatever that is that your heart is calling you to do, it is all flowing with ease and grace. And it's so beautiful. And you and me feel in a bliss. And that's what we're here for. We're here to live in bliss. I'm so grateful for that and so much more. And I let it be. And so it is, and now it is. Ashe, amen. Ah, thank you. Thank you. That is so beautiful.